Okay, y'all. So today, my bad. Today we got the most reasonable crash outs in anime history. I love these type of videos. But don't forget, you guys, we post Monday through Friday. I post Monday through Friday. I mean, it's we. Y'all know we be here together. So I'm talking about us. I post Monday through Friday. Y'all know we be kicking it over here Monday through Friday. Our time, our calendar. Again, y'all know how we do, okay? And for specific uploads, you guys, make sure you check that in the description below, okay? For specific topics that you feel like that you really connect with, on the certain topics, all of the topics that I'd be interested in, that I come over here and talk to y'all and chat it up and yap with y'all about or whatever. So yeah, if there's specific topics that you are really, really interested in that you like, I really like talking and chatting it up about anime, conspiracies, strange stories, and just y'all know on Fridays that's either a live or just a specific topic that I wanted to come on here and talk to y'all about, or just like a random reaction to something funny or something crazy I saw that I want to come over here and kick it with y'all and watch it with y'all. But anyways, yeah, for specific topics, like I said, that you might really be interested in, that you really like to come over and watch, just check that in the description below, because y'all know we like to get into a little bit of everything over here. Our interests just be like everywhere. But anyways, let's go ahead and hop right into the video, y'all.
What do you say, son? Go out there and win this one for me, okay? Then we can all go home.
Okay, Dad. I'll do it.
The power-up fueled by rage, screaming into the sky, the eyes that go blank right before someone does something they can never take back. Anime characters lose their minds a lot, but when you stop to think about what actually happened to them, not what they did once they snapped, but everything before that, you realize that every breakdown raises the same question. Was it justified? Sometimes the answer is no, and sometimes it's maybe. But what happens when losing their mind is the only response that makes sense? What happens when a character is pushed so far beyond anything anyone should ever have to endure? What happens when the crash out is undoubtedly, undeniably, unmistakably reasonable?
Oh my God. This theme music, right? It's not copyrighted, right? Whatever. We here now.
Today, I want to show you what I personally believe are the most valid crash outs in anime and manga history, starting with characters who crashed out after losing someone precious to them. Gon is the protagonist of Hunter x Hunter. He is a small boy from a small island who sets out to become a hunter, basically a licensed professional who travels the world and takes on jobs ranging from treasure hunting to tracking.
By the way, I want to come over here and finish Jujutsu Kaisen. Well, I had to go back to, y'all already know, season 2, because I forgot what happened, because they take so long to come out with the new season or whatever. But anyways, so I was on here looking on Google like, okay, can I watch anime shows, some of my favorite anime shows on YouTube as a reaction video? It said yes, but then you face, risk a copyright strike, which I be getting those anyways, just doing these simple reactions right here. But I be really, for our anime days, I like watching these types of videos, but I really be wanting to come over here with y'all and like watch my favorite anime shows with y'all and like talk about them and stuff. So I think what I'm going to do next week, I'm going to try it. Because like I said, anyways, when I do these type of reactions, they still be copyright striking me anyways. And I have to fight it. And then y'all see the video get uploaded, back available or whatever, right? So, yeah, we'll see, y'all. We'll see. I don't know.
Mysterious creatures to things considerably more insane than that. Gon's father is Jing, one of the greatest hunters of all time. And Kite is a hunter who trained directly under Jing and also the key to understanding Gon's crash out. The reason Gon became a hunter in the first place is to find his father. And Kite is one of the first people Gon meets who has a real connection to him. But on top of that, he is also kind of everything Gon aspires to become. For most of the story, they actually journey in separate directions until they are eventually brought back together much later. Their job is to investigate this mysterious island full of creatures called Chimera ants.
I think that's where we stopped.
Kite, Gon, and Gon's best friend Killua encounter one of these creatures, Neferpito, and unfortunately for them, the encounter lasts seconds. Pito is so far beyond what any of them are capable of handling that it is not a fair fight. Kite, recognizing this immediately, sacrifices himself to give the boys the chance to escape. His arm is severed instantly. Gon tries to fight back, but Killua knocks him out so they can leave. And when he wakes up, he isn't angry. Instead, he is convinced Kite is still alive and decides to save him. On the surface, he seems confident, but deep down, he knows that Kite lost his arm protecting him. Had Gon been stronger, Kite may still be there. To everyone around him, the situation is obvious. Kite has perished. But consumed by this guilt, Gon convinces himself that if he becomes strong enough, he can fix what happened. And everything he does from that point forward, including the battles, is to bring Kite back. As the arc continues, several hunters invade the palace where the ants live. Gon focuses on one person, Pito. After all this waiting, he finally stands face to face with the person responsible for everything. Yet, instead of attacking immediately, he hesitates. Pito is busy healing an innocent girl and asks for a bit of time. In exchange, she promises to heal Kite as well. Gon agrees and waits while not closing his eyes or averting his gaze for a single second. Once it's done, they both leave and Pito finally tells him the truth. Kite cannot be healed because there is nothing left to heal. He died long ago during the fight. For months, Gon pushed down the guilt of being too weak, the anger toward Pito, and the grief of losing someone he admired. The second Pito confirms the truth, everything collapses, and that is when Gon crashes out. Sometimes, a character crashes out after losing not one, but several.
Yeah. Me and my husband need to definitely find time to catch up and watch that. We're watching so much stuff. Oh my gosh.
Of the people that counted to them the most.
Right now we're watching the show From. I think I told y'all that already. That's a good show, y'all. Go check it out.
Jujutsu Kaisen is set in a world where negative human emotions manifest as physical creatures called curses. These curses range from, small monsters to catastrophic threats depending on how much people are afraid of them. And a small group of people called sorcerers are responsible for getting rid of these curses. Yuji Itadori is one of these sorcerers. He is a genuinely kind person, but also the vessel of Ryomen Sukuna, the most powerful and malevolent being in existence. The thing that makes Yuji unique is that he lives in a world full of sorcerers who have learned to control their emotions and treat loss as a part of the job. But Yuji never developed that distance. He is a normal boy who wants to do the right thing, who feels the tragedy of everything around him very deeply, but keeps walking anyway. And Mahito, one of the main villains of his story, understands this completely. Mahito is a curse born from human hatred of other humans. Where Yuji believes every life has value, Mahito sees people as toys. And that is exactly why he spends the entire story targeting Yuji. His first real attack comes through Junpei, a lonely teenager. Yuji and Junpei form a friendship, but behind the scenes, Mahito finds him and begins manipulating him. When they're all together, Mahito deliberately transforms Junpei into a curse directly in front of Yuji, enjoying every second of it. Junpei dies, and Yuji is left holding the weight of a friendship that he couldn't save. Despite
I remember all this. Okay.
that, he keeps going until the Shibuya incident arrives. Shibuya is a large-scale attack on Tokyo, orchestrated by the series' antagonists, including Mahito. The city descends into chaos. Sorcerers are called to defend civilians.
And this is why I was like, I gotta go back. I don't remember what happened. I'm lost. I tried to go, knowing I be being forgetful. Yeah, I be watching these shows. I've been forgot the main characters' names. I be watching so much stuff too, though, and then be having so much going on in real life. Okay, all I'm gonna say is I thought I was gonna go to the new season, y'all. I don't know why. I went to the new season. I'm like, what the heck? What is going on? I'm lost. I had to go back to the previous season. I had to. It was just so much that went down in the second season. I'm just, like I said, I don't know why I thought I was going to be able to go to the new one and know what was going on.
And then, Sukuna, the curse living inside Yuji's body, takes control and destroys the city just for his pure pleasure of fighting, slaying most of the innocents there in the process. Yuji regains consciousness surrounded by destruction, knowing all of this happened through his hands. He was not controlling what happened, but those people were slain because he exists. A few moments later, while he is still processing what happened, he finds Nanami, a senior sorcerer, his mentor, and someone who has treated him with genuine care throughout the series. When Yuji finally reaches him, Nanami is already at his limit, and Mahito is standing behind him. Yuji listens to Nanami's final words as Mahito destroys his body in front of his eyes.
See, I don't remember none of that. I don't know. See, that's why I don't be. There'd be a lot of these videos that I'd be like, I can't watch that. I can't watch that one. Because I feel like I'd be like, no, it's gonna give a spoiler. I'm gonna spoil it for myself, and I hate spoilers. But we here now, whatever.
He barely has time to process what happened before Mahito moves again, this time toward Nobara, one of Yuji's closest friends. She is attacked and most likely gone as well.
Now, I remember that part right there. That's what's crazy. I remember this part.
All of that in a single day. Mahito savors every moment, mocking him and letting him sit inside his own despair. For the first time in the series, Yuji, the boy who always found a reason to keep moving forward, loses the will to take another step, gives up, and crashes out.
I'll accept it, Mahito. I am you. I really wanted to reject you. I wanted to pretend I didn't understand what you said. But that's different now. I'll just kill you. And if you're ever reborn again as a new curse, I'll kill you then too.
There are other times when a character crashes out not after losing one or even a couple of their friends, but every single person they loved.
It's just my name.
The crash out be valid if you ask me. I'm just saying.
Sure. I'd rather fight with my sword than run away, that's all.
Somebody gotta pay.
So that's the only reason? You fought 100 men.
I love the crash out.
It's not in your nature to run
And we
away.
really snapping. Oh yeah, Berserk was a good show.
Berserk is set in a medieval world which is probably the darkest, most vile world in the history of manga, I'm not gonna lie. And Guts is born into the absolute bottom of that world. Before I go any further, you need to know that Guts is one of the darkest characters in fiction. In fact, by most standards, he is pretty much the opposite of a hero. He never knew his parents and is raised among mercenaries. He is forced to fight from the moment he is old enough to hold a sword. By the time he's an adult, he has spent his entire life living like a complete animal. But there's one specific moment that really changes everything. And that moment begins when he joins the Band of the Hawk. The Hawks are a mercenary company led by a man called Griffith, a charismatic leader who has an almost supernatural ability to inspire loyalty in the people around him. Under Griffith's leadership, the Hawks rise to become one of the most celebrated groups in the kingdom. For Guts, joining them is the first time in his life that he belongs to something. He has companions, people who fight beside him, and most importantly, friends who love him. One day, after a long journey, Guts realizes he has spent years living for Griffith's ambition, rather than for himself. Determined to find his own path, he decides to leave the Hawks. Griffith is broken, shattered.
Griffith. That boy, Griffith, man. When he decided to leave, Griffith didn't know what to do with himself. That, look.
One person he treated as an equal is gone. And the consequences are catastrophic.
Man.
Destabilized in a way he just cannot manage, Griffith makes a reckless decision that results in his arrest. He is imprisoned and subjected to the worst treatment imaginable. By the time the Hawks finally locate and rescue him, the man they find is barely recognizable. His body is permanently destroyed. Guts returns to find him in this state. The Hawks are back together, and for a brief moment, it seems like perhaps the worst is behind them, until the eclipse begins. Without warning, the members of the Band of the Hawk are pulled into another dimension, a realm that operates by entirely different rules, engineered by forces far beyond human comprehension. What follows is the closest thing imaginable to hell. Everyone Guts has ever cared about is slain by horrifying demons in front of him, while he fights desperately and accomplishes nothing. He screams until his voice gives out. He breaks his own arm trying to help, and through a miracle, he manages to escape having lost everything. All of this caused by one man, and one man only. The person who decided to sacrifice everyone he held dear to become a god. That person is Griffith.
Crazy.
Now, there are also times when characters crash out slightly later in their journey. It might actually start with someone losing someone precious to them, kind of like before, but it continues because they became a completely different person. For example, in Fire Punch, there's a boy called Agni, and this is him at the beginning of his story, while this is him very slightly later. So what the heck happened? Let me set the scene for you. The world is cooked. Humanity is trapped in an eternal ice age. People are out here barely hanging on by a thread, and resources are basically non-existent. Within this already kind of messed up world, certain individuals are born with supernatural abilities called blessings. Agni's blessing is regeneration, meaning that his body just keeps fixing itself no matter what you do to it. And look, when you hear that, you're probably thinking, okay, he's basically kind of invincible or immortal or whatever. But no. See, Agni looked at that ability and decided he was going to let the village use him as a human buffet every single day. And here's the important part. The only thing keeping this man sane through all of that is his little sister, Luna. She is the one thing that made him feel like life is still worth it. At the beginning of the story, everything is going, relatively okay, given these, pretty insane circumstances, until this man called Doma shows up to the village, takes one look around, and figures out that people are out here eating each other just to survive. So of course, his reaction is to understand the situation, let them explain themselves, and ask questions to figure what's going on. No, I'm actually kidding, he is also blessed, so he proceeds to just burn the entire thing to the ground. But here's the thing. See, Doma's flames are not regular flames. These things cannot be extinguished. Ever. They keep burning until the thing they are burning is gone. Do you see the problem here? Agni's regeneration kicks in immediately, which means that this man just keeps burning in an endless loop with no way out.
Gosh.
And the manga goes
torture.
very far to make you understand exactly how he's feeling. On top of all that, in the middle of the most unimaginable pain a human being could ever experience, Agni is out here praying for his sister, hoping that she's okay. But then, he actually sees her right in front of him, covered in flames too. Luna has a version of Agni's regeneration, but it's way, way weaker, which means that she is not stuck in that endless loop like him. She survives just long enough to do one thing, to tell him he needs to live, and then perishes in front of his eyes. In that moment, Agni sees every memory they could have made together, every moment they never got to have, the whole life they could have lived if none of this ever happened. Some of which is very weird if you've read the manga, but still. And what happens after all that?
Wait a minute, do not tell me they on that weird ancestral stuff. That better not be what he talking about. I ain't gonna see it anyways, because they don't have an anime adaptation. I just looked it up.
This man just keeps burning for years. Year 1 is just screaming in pure, unfiltered agony. He cannot move or think or do anything else for that matter. Year 3,
crazy.
he is still in the exact same flames, but he starts walking while the pain is still absolutely unbearable. Year 5, his body starts moving freely, but even then he can still not breathe properly. And then, after 8 years of burning, Agni figures out how to actually push the flames away from his head so that he can finally think. After 8 years, this man is still feeling unbearable pain, but
That's
now
crazy.
he can finally breathe and curl his hand into a fist. And now, there's only one thing left.
Find the person.
That is revenge.
Right.
Listen, every single character in this video has had one big crash out, maybe two. But every now and then, you get a character that has, 17. ReZero is an isekai. Basically what that means is that some regular dude from the real world gets randomly teleported into a fantasy world. At the start of the story, that regular dude in question is Subaru Natsuki. This man very understandably treats it like the beginning of an adventure. But by the end, he becomes one of the most tortured, most mentally destroyed characters in the history of fiction. So what the heck happened? The first thing you need to know is that Subaru gets an ability called Return by Death. Every time this man dies, he snaps back to an earlier point in time. On paper, that sounds like the most overpowered ability you could ever receive, especially in these circumstances. But the truth is, this man got scammed. Let's start with the very first thing that happens to Subaru in this world. So, he's wandering through the city, right? Just, taking it all in, and he stumbles across this fruit and vegetable merchant. Cool. Then, out of nowhere, some random dudes try to mess with him in a shady alleyway. But before they can finish the job, this silver-haired girl called Amelia pulls up and saves him. After all that, he finds out her insignia got stolen. And this man with zero powers looks at her and goes, "Yeah, I'll help you get it back." Their whole search ends up leading them to a bar in the sketchiest part of the city. What could go wrong? Because inside that building, they run into Elsa, a deadly assassin. Subaru is completely and utterly powerless against her. Within moments, Elsa has slain everybody in the building. Amelia, Subaru, everybody! My man is literally chopped in half. And then, he wakes up, and he is back in the same marketplace in front of the exact same fruit and vegetable merchant. Time reset, kind of like a video game checkpoint. So now Subaru's like, okay, I know what happens, let me just run it back and fix everything. He fights Amelia again, goes back to the bar, tries a different approach, and things spiral completely out of control again. And this man dies again, and wakes up in front of the same fruit and vegetable merchant again. Now, at this point you think, okay, third time, he's got even more information, he knows the enemies, he should be good, right? This time, my man is killed by the random dudes from the beginning. And before we go any further, I need you to understand something. Every single one of these deaths is very real. Every single time Subaru dies, he feels everything. The pain, the fear, the specific type of horror that comes with however he got slain in that particular timeline. And the example I just gave you, that is like the most tame thing in the entire series. It gets...
Is it quick? I mean, does he really have to still go through the whole, bleeding out process, the pain, and just waiting to die? So
much worse. Now, the second thing you need to know is that the memories never reset. Everyone else literally goes back to the past like all of this never even happened. But Subaru experiences everything and then remembers everything once he's revived. Every failure, every single person he watched die in a timeline that no longer exists and that nobody else even knows happened. He is carrying all of it without anyone to talk about it. Because here's the part I didn't mention, he literally cannot tell anybody because there is an unseen force that straight up prevents him from explaining Return by Death to anyone by choking him with an invisible hand that no one can see but him. So basically, he watches someone he cares about die, he comes back, they're alive again, they have no idea what just happened, and he has to stand there and look them in the face and act normal. And each time he crashes out, he can literally not explain what is going on. And on top of all that, he still has to figure everything out by himself with the new information he has and find solutions so that this stuff doesn't happen again. There are characters who crash out because they keep trying to help the people around them over and over and over again, only to watch it fail every single time. Land of the Lustrous is set in a distant future where immortal beings made of gemstones spend their existence fighting against the Lunarians, mysterious beings who descend from the sky to capture them and take them to the moon. Phosphophilite, which I think that's how it's pronounced, known as Phos, begins the story at the absolute bottom of the society. Physically, they are super fragile, pretty much useless in combat, and regarded by almost everyone as a liability because they basically don't have skills for anything. Their hardness is 3.5 out of 10. For context, most gems who fight sit at approximately 7 or above. Despite that, Phos is genuinely optimistic and curious. They want to contribute and prove they belong, but most importantly, they want to become better. And that desire to become better and to help is exactly what separates Phos from pretty much every other gem in this story. Every time Phos becomes stronger, they lose a piece of who they were. That's because part of their original body is replaced after injuries. For example, legs from a sea creature, arms made of gold, and eventually their entire head from another gem. Each replacement grants new abilities, but each replacement costs a big chunk of their memories. The things that connected Phos to who they used to be and why any of this mattered in the first place. Their personality shifts alongside the memories, and the cheerful, curious gem from the beginning slowly disappears in this pursuit of change and becoming better. But above all that, Phos is also the only gem who wants to know more. The other gems are content. They fight the Lunarians, maintain the school, and exist within the structure they have always known without really questioning it. Phos cannot do that. Everything pushes.
See, I'm nosy. I want to know. I'm nosy. I want to know it all.
Pushes them towards this need for answers that nobody around really shares. Why are the Lunarians taking them? What do they actually want? Who is their master really? And what is he not telling?
Look, that's me. That's me. Especially as a kid. Look, that is me. I want to know. I know you telling me this, but no. I want to know more. I know it's more to the story. Tell me.
Them. Very valid questions. Phos begins pursuing truths that the other gems have no interest in. And in that pursuit, every answer they find creates more distance between themselves and the community they're trying to protect. Every revelation makes the world more complicated and more painful. The other gems begin pulling away, and the ones that stay are the ones that are interested in their own selfish desires, not because they want to actually stay with Phos. Cinnabar, the person the whole journey was supposed to be for, remains on Earth while Phos travels to the moon, chasing answers that nobody asked for and nobody really understands. By the time Phos has spent centuries losing pieces of themselves, the people they loved, the memories that connected them to why any of this mattered, and the trust of the community they sacrificed everything to protect, the person who started this journey is almost entirely gone, and the weight of all of it is carried entirely alone. Phos did it willingly, to feel like they belonged, but also to help people that never truly helped them back. And when those same people didn't just ignore Foss, but turned their back against them, that is when they finally crashed out.
Uh-oh.
And then, there are also characters who crash out when the society they live in doesn't accept them. Like, for example, if they, decided to throw someone off a mountain for no reason, which would, be completely stupid and would definitely never happen.
Oh, yes, this is a good show. Yeah, I watched this. They need to hurry up and come out with another season.
Gachiakta is a story set on the Sphere, a floating island divided into two groups. At the top, the citizens who live comfortably in the beautiful part of the city. At the bottom, the people whose ancestors were criminals. They live in the slums on the edge of the Sphere, and Rudo is one of them. Rudo is outspoken and stubborn. He challenges the world he lives in, but underneath that, he is not motivated by hatred or jealousy or any kind of malicious thing. All he wants is to collect what people waste and repair it because he understands that value exists in things the world has decided to throw away. All of it deserves to be cared for. And that belief comes almost entirely from Recto. Recto is the man who raised Rudo and treated him with care all these years. As long as Recto is there, Rudo has something worth protecting and something worth living for. Until one day, without warning, Rudo returns to his home, the one place in the world that felt safe, and finds it completely destroyed. And the person who gave him everything, Recto, with a sword in his chest. Before Rudo can even begin to process what he is looking at, the authorities arrive and accuse him of this. There is no investigation, no trial, not even anyone asking whether the obvious conclusion might be wrong. Not because the evidence points to Rudo, but because Rudo is Rudo. He is from the slums. He cannot defend himself, and even his one friend who seemed to care about him regardless of their class difference betrays him in front of everyone. He is condemned and sentenced to be thrown into the abyss. The place beneath the sphere where society disposes of everything it considers waste. Garbage, broken...
Yeah, when he fell from the high up, look, I know it's anime, right? But I'm like, man, he definitely should have died. But we know, I get it. It's anime, it's fake. They gonna make him survive. Ain't no way he should have broke his neck.
And criminals. Standing at the edge, Rudo finally understands with complete clarity how the world above sees him. In that moment, every lesson Recto spent years teaching him is gone. The world has killed the person who taught them, and used this as the excuse to throw Rudo away as well. As he falls into the abyss, Rudo loses faith in the world above entirely, and screams that he will be back to take revenge. There are also times when a character crashes out because the society they lived in their entire life is a lie.
You're a good person. I hope you'll get to live a long life.
Okay, listen. If you've seen Attack on Titan, you know that what Eren tried to do was insane. I hope we can agree on that. And if you haven't, he basically tried to destroy like 90% of the people on Earth. So I still hope we can agree this is insane. But let's actually figure out what made him lose his mind in the first place. Attack on Titan is set in a world where humanity lives enclosed by massive walls. Outside those walls are Titans, these enormous humanoid creatures with no purpose beyond eating people. Nobody inside the walls knows where the Titans came from, why they exist, or whether there is anything beyond them. For generations, this small fortress has been their entire world. Eren Yeager grows up inside that world, until one day, the Colossal Titan, a creature so large it topples...
Man, Attack on Titan was such a good show, man. Like, the storyline, everything. This show was truly a really, really good show, man. It's crazy. I'm telling you, if you have not watched Attack on Titan, you need to go watch it.
Over the walls and breaches their town. In minutes, streets are destroyed. People are devoured. Eren's mother is trapped beneath the rubble of their home. Unable to move, a Titan eats her while Eren watches from a distance, completely powerless. His hatred is first born right there. And for years, his goal is to become someone capable of fighting Titans back. During his journey as a soldier, he finds himself in dozens of life or death situations and sees many of his
I don't
comrades.
even know if I'll be able to like keep looking or even have the strength to like, I don't know, keep looking or look away. That's crazy. Yeah, literally ate her right in front of him.
Perish. Two of his comrades are Raina and Bertolt, who he trained beside for years, and by every reasonable definition, his friends. But the truth is, they were also the Colossal Titan and the Armored Titan, the beings responsible for the destruction of the wall. The enemy is not a stupid creature like everyone suspected. It's a person, someone Eren trusted and who sat beside him while carrying the knowledge of what they had done to his home and to his family. Eren starts to put the pieces of the puzzle together and realizes he has no idea what's actually going on. He goes into his father's basement and finds his hidden journals, and they finally reveal the truth about the world. There is a civilization beyond.
And the daddy was out here with a whole nother family. Could you imagine that? You out here thinking you know your daddy whole time. Eren, you know what I'm saying? Eren mama done died, everything. So the whole mission has become them trying to get back to Eren's hometown or whatever to get to the father's basement to look at his books. They read, okay, read all that, whatever. They get over the wall. They get over the, what is it, to the next country, wherever they went to. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Find out Eren got a brother, all type of stuff. Eren daddy, they had a whole nother family over there. See, that's what we be talking about. Let me stop. Eren daddy, no, he was wrong. Out here with a whole nother family. Like, what?
The walls. An enormous, thriving world that has existed this entire time, completely unknown to the people inside. And that world.
Ain't that crazy though, y'all? That sound like the type of stuff we be getting into on our conspiracy days. Y'all know they be talking about Antarctica got an ice wall over it. That's crazy, ain't it? It ain't crazy. I'm just messing with y'all. Y'all know they putting a lot of stuff in these shows, but hey, who knows? We don't know. We just curious. We just being nosy, you know.
Views Eren's people not with indifference, but with hatred. The citizens of the wall are called Eldians, descendants of a people that once used Titan's power to conquer and.
Hey, don't they say they talked about Titans, or not Titans, but well, giants, whatever you want to call them in the Bible?
Devastate the world. To the outside world, they are the monsters. Eren finds out that the Titans that destroyed his life were not mindless beasts, but Eldians that were turned into weapons and deliberately deployed against their own people as part of a century-long cycle of hatred that predates his birth by generations. The walls were not built to protect humanity, but to contain them forever. The fight Eren has been fighting his entire life was never simply against the Titans, and now he crashes out and decides he will take revenge for all of it. Unlike Eren, there are times when a character knows the world they live in is real.
I think he was wrong.
And yet, this world takes everything away from.
I was on the side of, if I'm not mistaken, weren't they trying to at some point like sterilize or whatever the people who turn into Titans so that they wouldn't be able to turn into Titans anymore or like reproduce or whatever the case, right? Let me look it up. I want to make sure. Hold on, y'all, real quick. It's been a while since I watched that. If I'm not mistaken, that was something that they like discussed at some part in the show, right? Because I was like, okay, what's wrong with that? I mean, they weren't trying to kill them. They just wasn't going to be able to reproduce or whatever. Like, because they literally can turn into Titans and eat people. So, hold on. Real quick. Were they trying? Hold on, y'all. I'm looking it up right now. On Attack on Titan. Dang, come on. I'm trying to make sure I want to. Okay. See, okay, yeah. So were they trying to sterilize the Titans on Attack on Titan so that they couldn't reproduce? Yes, Zeke Yeager planned to sterilize all Eldians so they could not reproduce. His goal was to slowly let the Eldian race die out over a generation. This was known as the Eldian euthanization plan. Here's how the plan worked. The target, Zeke, did not plan to sterilize. Okay, Zeke did not plan to sterilize the mindless Titans. He planned to sterilize all subjects of Ymir, living Eldians. Okay. Okay. Why wouldn't he sterilize the mindless Titans? Okay, hold on. Let me see. The method. He wanted to use the power of the founding Titan to change Eldian bodies. This removed their ability to have babies. The goal, Zeke believed that without new Eldians, the power of the Titans would disappear forever. When the current generation died of old age, he thought this would free the world from the fear of Titans and end the suffering of the Eldian people. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? They were just gonna die of old age. That's better than going and just trying to kill them. They just weren't going to be able to reproduce and die of old age. They were literally out here eating people and turning into Titans. So, look, sometimes you got to do some stuff that just seem wrong, I guess, like for the greater good. That was for the greater good. And even that still is not that bad compared to what the other option could have been. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just continue to fight with each other anyways and kill each other back and forth. So, to me, the best solution seemed to be, look like Zeke Yeager was onto something. Sterilize these motherfuckers. Like, they can't reproduce. Like, and once they die of old age, there you go. Now y'all ain't got to worry about you and your friends and family and loved ones getting eaten up by Titans. I don't see how that's such a hard choice. Like, what are we talking about?
So we believe that human beings simply cannot understand each other, and they never will.
Naruto is a series set in a world of ninja villages.
Y'all, my husband is currently trying to rewatch Naruto because he never watched it. Not watched it, but he never watched it through and finished it. So, yeah, he's one of those people. I told y'all he liked to watch the shows just for the fight scenes. Like, he's just, whereas me, I'm there for the storyline. The fight scenes be a bonus, but I'm mainly invested in the storyline. Like, I really be invested in the storylines and the characters.
Countries that train soldiers from the moment they're
just to turn around and for me to forget, you know what I'm saying, what happened when they take forever to come out with a new season or something. But yeah,
small, and deploy them in conflicts that range from minor disputes to full-scale wars. The great nations each have their own village, and are largely indifferent to the smaller nations caught in the middle of their conflicts. The Hidden Rain Village is one of those smaller nations, and that is exactly where Nagato grows up. He is gentle, shy, deeply compassionate, and holding on to the belief that people can still understand one another despite all this suffering. One day, he finds Yahiko and Konan, two other kids surviving in the Rain Village. In turn, they meet Jiraiya, a legendary ninja who doesn't just teach them how to fight, but also plans the idea that the cycle of hatred consuming their world is not permanent. That people who have seen what war actually costs might be the ones actually capable of changing it. Three of them eventually create the Akatsuki. Their goal is to end the suffering inflicted upon smaller nations by the great powers, and to finally break the cycle. Yahiko is the heart of this group. He is everything Nagato is not. Charismatic, confident, and optimistic. He is the reason the dream feels so real. Until one day, this all changes. Hanzo, the leader of the Rain Village, and Danzo, a shadowy leader from the Hidden Leaf Village, decide the Akatsuki movement has grown too influential to be allowed to continue. Together, they set a trap. The three friends are cornered with no way out, and Nagato is forced to make a choice. Yahiko's life or Konan's life? Yahiko does not wait for someone else to make this decision. He takes the kunai from Nagato's hand and drives it into himself. He perishes in his best friend's arms, making sure the last thing he does is remove the impossible choice from everyone else. Everything Nagato had been taught collapses. Not just the dream, but the idea that peace is achievable. The idea that good intentions matter. The idea that people are capable of recognizing something worth protecting. A part of him breaks. The boy, who once believed people could understand one another, looks at what the world just did to the person who believed in all of this more than anyone else.
Man, the betrayal on anime be crazy. The betrayal on anime be crazy, man. They be ruthless. Hey, but it really be out here. It really be like that out here, though. For a lot of people, it's crazy.
And realizes that every attempt to create peace through kindness has ended in failure. Every lesson about compassion has been met with manipulation. Humanity is incapable of learning without pain.
One feels the same pain.
That pain arc was good.
Losing something dear. You and I have both experienced that pain. You strive for your justice, and I strive for mine.
And when they killed Master Jiraiya, I did what I always do when they kill one of my characters that I really like on anime shows. I'm over there talking about, I'm not gonna watch it no more. I'm done. I'm ready to write a letter. I'm done. Right back watching it. I did the same thing when they killed off head Captain Yamamoto, y'all, on Bleach. I'm still not over that, but I'm still here. I'm gonna keep watching. But yeah, that's crazy, y'all. That's all we got for today for the ultimate, what was it again? The ultimate Crashouts. Justified Crashouts. Whatever it was, y'all know what it was when I said at the beginning of the video. Check the title. Check the title. But again, you guys, don't forget, y'all know we here kicking it Monday through Friday on our calendar. Okay. And for specific uploads, check that in the description below. You guys, I think I'm gonna go back to uploading pre-recorded videos for y'all. And I definitely need to do that. Anyways, to just, I'm gonna go back to doing that. But I'm actually getting ready to move. We're getting ready to PCS in the next, 2 weeks or so. So, yeah, I want to make sure I have some pre-recorded videos for y'all to, watch while we're in the process of moving. And if y'all want to see that process, just go and, check me out over there on the channel that I got with my family and stuff, But I'm going to do the pre-recorded videos even after that too, you guys. And I still plan on going live or whatever on Fridays, either reacting to a specific, Fridays might be pre-recorded video. It just depends on how my day go, whatever, on my family, whatever. But yeah, so either pre-recorded video, but the plan is to go live, for sure. Go live on Fridays, a vlog or so any one of those. But again, still Monday through Friday. For specific topics, check that in the description below, you guys. And I hope y'all have a good day and a good night. It's technically the next day. Yes, it is. So have a good day, you guys. Bye, y'all.